Monty, after events like that, can you just describe to us what you're feeling and your emotions after that?
I just think your reaction, the way you just asked me that question, probably sums up me. Disbelief. Just again, really disappointed for the boys. You know, they're putting so much effort. You come to a team like Melbourne Victory and they're the benchmark team in the competition. They don't need any help. They've got a massive budget. They've got some top players, international players, top young players, and they don't need any help. And I thought tonight they had a lot of help. And for opposition players to come off the park after and just shake their head and say, I don't know how we got away with that one. For me, that I've never really had that in my career. So yeah, I think we need an explanation on the decisions made. I know it's a tough ask for referees. The game's so fast. That pitch out there is probably the quickest pitch in the league. But Melbourne City's first penalty is outside the box, and that's a fact. The first contact is outside the box, and when questioned about it, you know, the feedback I got from the officials was it wasn't the first contact, it was the second contact. So I don't know when the rules changed, but the first contact, as the player goes down, if he falls in the box and there's another contact, it's not the second contact. So unless I've missed a new rule change, I think everyone can see that wasn't a penalty. So to concede just before half time, when I thought we deserved the goal, I thought we were in the ascendancy of starting to control the game. And again, talk about moments, to concede just before half time was disappointing. But we regrouped at half time, and I thought the boys came out second half. Again, we conceded, for us, probably poor goal on our part, their second goal, but I never felt that we couldn't get back in the game, and I thought the boys kept playing, they kept plugging away, showed great character, great togetherness, against probably the top team in the competition. I thought we scored a very good second goal, and from that moment on I thought we could go on and win the game, or at minimum, get a point and go out a favourite point against the champion. So I think the final incident, I probably don't need to say much about it. No. You only have to look at social media and the text messages I've had from good people within football here, and they're all just in disbelief. Lewis Miller's icing a gash on top of his foot, and again, I don't know how that you can't see that live. The player's reaction from Melbourne City, he knew it was a penalty. He knew that he'd given the penalty away. You could see his reaction, and yeah, we have to take a player off because he's got a gash on top of his foot, and apparently there's no contact. So, I'm just in disbelief. So, but more than anything, I just think there needs to be an explanation, and just really disappointed for the boys. It's been a tough week for us. We've copped some real tough luck, but I thought tonight was not luck. It was just poor decision making.
Just quickly on Lewis, you've got to go to Adelaide on the weekend. Is this the type of gash that will prevent him from playing Adelaide, or is he going to be right to play in that one?
Look, Lewis is a big, strong boy. The fact that he stayed down and he came off, he said it was really painful to walk on. So, look, I'm pretty sure it's nothing more than a stud on top of his foot. But if there's anything else, we're here for a couple of days, probably get him an X-ray. But I'm pretty sure it's, like I say, it's a clear stud on top of his foot, which players do get. But in that moment of the game, I think it's to say there was no contact is just in disbelief, really.
Well, I mean, as you said, Monty, there's been quite a lot of reaction to this. Just looking online, it looks like this game has launched Australian football into its latest existential crisis. Do you think the VAR is worth it if we're going to keep getting these sort of games and these sort of controversies?
Look, like I said, it's tough for referees to make calls. The game is so quick. But when you have VAR and I'm looking at the screen and I can see it's a penalty, I can see the first one is outside the box. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they need to get together and just really have a look at it, because I think it's sad for the game. I think the game has been ruined tonight, and yeah, I think it's a spectacle that Australian football didn't need. I think there is a lot of positives here. It's been a transition with everything that's gone on, but nights like that tonight, really set the competition back, and sad for football here.
Nick, I mean, this is the second game in a few days now. We've had really lengthy VAR calls. Seems like we can see it. We can see what looks like to be very obvious decisions, but the referee's taking their time to make these decisions. I guess, do you think that this needs to be sped up? Because it does take the sting out of the game as well when these are happening. We're seeing 10 minutes of added time, etc., etc.
look, everyone watches the Premier League, and why do we watch the Premier League? Because it's the best league in the world. It's fast, it's frenetic, it is physical, it's quick, you know, and that's why everyone watches the Premier League. And I think it's always got to be about the product. People want to watch a game. They want to see what was tonight. I thought was a good game, other than, you know, the crazy incidents that happened, and people are now talking about them. They're not talking about the Mariners, who are a very young team. You know, we've got the smallest budget, the smallest squad in the league. They're not talking that we came here to the champions, put on a good performance, you know, and you know, they're talking about the decisions from the referees. I think that's sad. I think we got some young boys tonight that again proved that they're as good as any young players in the competition. And again, I thought at times at 2-2, I thought we had some very good moments in the game. Couple of passes that just didn't come off in that final third to Jason and Marcos, and Nikolai had a fantastic chance to make it 3-2 to us, but to lose a game and an incident where we should have had a penalty like that hurts. But like I said, it's I think everybody could see tonight, and that's, you know, I think that's a real blatant thing that people need to look at, you know, look at the situation.
In terms of your whole performance, I mean, the actual game itself, you got ahead early, you were able to get back into the game, and obviously unfairly probably should have gotten something from the game as well. I mean, what are your reflections of the actual performance tonight? Yeah,
so I don't think we started great, but look, we're coming away at the champions. They're a powerful team. You know, they had an extra day recovery than we had, I think, or vice versa. So look, I thought the game started, you know, with them on the front foot, but then I thought we grappled back into the game after probably 15 minutes. Then we started exposing them, finding space in midfield, and probably unlucky. You know, the pitch is quick. Unless you play it to feet, the ball just zips past people, and you know, that's what we've learned playing at Amy Park the last couple of games. But I thought fantastic goal from Benny, outstanding goal. You know, from someone that started the competition. For me, he was the best player in the round one. Hurt his ankle, and then we obviously had the COVID. But I thought he came back tonight. He was outstanding. I'm really proud of him tonight. But we made a mistake to cough the ball up just before half time. But from that moment on, it's never a penalty. You know, it's a free kick edge of the box, and I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't have scored from that. So to go in 1-1 at half time and concede a goal like that wasn't a penalty. Again, bad time to concede a goal. But the boys were obviously disappointed and frustrated because they all knew and saw the incident. So look, what we didn't do is feel sorry for ourselves. We came out second half and we give it a real good go. So really disappointed for the boys tonight again, because they put in so much effort, and yeah, it's tough way to lose the game.
I mean, Monty, I can only imagine what your boys are feeling in the dressing room right now, the deflation they must be feeling. How do you pick them up heading into the next game and get them right to play Adelaide and take the 3 points that you're targeting?
Look, I think we need to pick them up. You know, we've got some resilient young players. They're just more frustrated about, you know, we didn't get a point tonight. We didn't get a point against Melbourne Victory, conceding in the 95th minute. The week before that, we should have had 6 points. And again, you know, we coughed up some points. So look, it's a learning curve. We've got a lot of young players. They're going to learn by experience. And again, that experience tonight, I don't think they'll ever experience that again. And unfortunately, social media, everyone's getting text messages, phone calls, and I think that just compounds it. But if you can find a funny side out of it, it's everyone in the country is looking at that, and the boys are getting a lot of messages just to say, don't feel sorry for yourself, pick your head up, you didn't deserve it. And I think that's a message that we'll be giving them tonight.
Jacob Farrell again was a shining light. I mean, got the assist, made some key interventions in the first half as well. You know, held his own against, you know, Socceroos calibre forwards. I guess, what have been your reflections of not only his game but his progression throughout this season?
Yeah, Farrell's been outstanding for me. He's been probably one of the best fullbacks in the competition. He's a 19-year-old kid that comes from the Central Coast, and he's probably the most low-maintenance player that we've got. We don't need to tell him much. He learns from what you tell him. He does exactly what you ask him. But again, you're talking about Naboo and Lecky. They swapped sides, and not one of them had any joy from him. So, you know, fair play to him and Lewis Miller. Again, two young players. Then Dan Hall and Kai at the back. Kai's leading a back line of young players, like he's been playing for a lot longer than he has. So again, like I said, really tough tonight. But all the boys tonight, I thought they put in a great shift, and we really troubled Melbourne City, who are the benchmark team of the competition.
Just on looking at the team as a whole, it looks like your attack's coming together really well, with Jason Cummings kind of getting involved and contributing kind of consistently. Obviously, Marco came off the bench tonight. Are you happy with how that's progressing, and you feel like you're really developing that?
Yeah, for sure. Look, Maresh is a young player. He's got bags of ability, but for most of the season we only had Marcos and Maresh. Unfortunately, Matty Simon's still not with us. That's been a big loss for us. Top goal scorer from last season. It gives you a little bit of a different dimension in the box. Everyone knows how good Matty Simon is, and for us to lose him up to now, all season up to now, it was tough. And to bring Jason in, just give us that extra striker. And look, Marcos has been good this season. We had a quick backup, quick turnaround. So we only have a small squad. We have to protect the players. He's very fast twitch fibres. A lot of Marcos' game is sprinting. And on a pitch like that tonight, it's hard to back up 3 games in a row. I thought when he came on second half, he gave us that energy. And yeah, Jason tonight was... He was very close to receiving the ball on that left foot a couple of times, but he just didn't quite get there, or the defender got a touch on it. But I thought the work rate tonight from them was superb. So yeah, really pleased with the squad. And it's a small squad, but we have to look at rotating players and making sure that we can go to Adelaide and with full strength in a couple of days.
And just looking at the bigger picture, you've mentioned how tough the last few weeks in particular have been in lights like tonight. Just from your perspective, as a new coach, is this, I guess, what you're expecting coaching to be spending so much time trying to pick up these young players from these kinds of instances?
Look, to be honest, you have young players, they're going to make mistakes, they're going to grow from experience. So it's something that as a club, we our remit is to develop young players, to sell players overseas, to give them an opportunity. And we've got a couple of senior boys that are in there that are helping them. So, look, like I said, it's not about picking them up, because they just love playing football. They love playing for the Mariners. What no one likes doing is conceding late goals or losing games like that tonight. So that's something that, again, they'll probably never experience that again in their careers, unless they go to some places that where anyway, probably lost my words. So, but look, for me, I'm loving it. I love working with the boys. I've got support from the club. We know that it's been a tough couple of weeks, but we also know that there's a lot of games to go, and if we keep playing the way we're playing, we need probably a little bit of luck. But we've proved that we can match everybody in the competition. We can compete with everybody. But sometimes, you cop a bit of bad luck, and I think there's not much else than that. The boys have been superb.
Just quickly, any injury concerns coming out of this one other than Lewis?
Oh yeah, obviously maybe Lewis. We'll have a look at him. I think Nikolai got a knock as well, but yeah, it's normal. We'll reassess the boys tomorrow. Recover. We've got a couple of days before we go to Adelaide, so I'm pretty hopeful we'll be full strength for Adelaide.